Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. A delegation led by Governor Eric Holcomb and Secretary of Commerce Jim Schellinger has just returned from an economic development trip to the state's largest trading partner. The visit to Canada kicked off with a meeting with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. More than 70 Canadian-owned businesses call Indiana home. Nearly $21 billion in goods exchanged between Indiana and Canada last year. The trip comes as officials get word that after more than a year of effort, World Trade Center Indianapolis will become a reality. And for more on Indiana's growing global profile and the state's strategy going forward, let's bring in Indiana Secretary of Commerce Jim Schellinger. And Jim, as always, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Gary.
And thanks. You're just back from a trade trip to Canada. Let's talk about that because I know you had a busy agenda over 3 days or so, met with a lot of high-profile people there. What's your biggest takeaway from the trip?
I think the level of people we met with and the fact that, we want to keep such a thin border between Canada and the United States because while we're Canadians, we're Americans, we're Hoosiers, we're all North Americans. Mm-hmm. So to be able to have the governor sit down with the Prime Minister and talk about the challenges and the opportunities we have together, for him to be able to sit down and travel around with Ambassador Kelly Craft, the United States Ambassador to Canada, to meet with premiers from Quebec and Ontario, was just a really exciting time for us. And to sign MOUs in both Ontario and Quebec was a big deal.
Talked about some pretty weighty issues, NAFTA, steel tariffs, and those types of things, and also focused on some industries important to Indiana, aerospace and logistics among them.
Yes, they have an amazing aerospace network up there, and aerospace is one of the areas we really want to put the full court press on and grow further and further. The four things we really focused on while we were there were aerospace and defense, our life sciences, agribusiness, and information technology, because those are areas we want to continue to grow. We'll keep going in advanced manufacturing, logistics, and as well as cybersecurity and energy. But those are areas of focus that we can really thrive with them. And we hope we can help them in those same areas and the other areas that we're experts at. Because, of course, we have Lilly there, Cummins, Biomet, and so many others. You
have been on the road a lot overseas. You were in Switzerland just a few weeks ago, visiting with some big players, including Roche. Talk about that trip.
Yeah, I was in Switzerland just for Canada. I was there from the 21st to the 24th and met the governor in Canada. And that trip was great. While over there, we stopped in 5 different cities. We were in Zurich, we were in Bern, we were in Basel, Vevey, and Renich. And while we were in Basel, we got to visit with Roche, their global headquarters. And of course, their biggest investment in America is right here at the outer skirts of Indianapolis, up in Fishers. And then we also got to visit with Nestle's. And we are their biggest investment in America. Wow. They have 4 locations here. Their #1 selling product is their French vanilla cream for their coffee, and it's made out of Anderson, Indiana, #1 seller. And they're in expansion right now up there, and they're going to do a 3rd expansion here.
Indiana's global footprint and presence really is growing in a big way. This week, we broke news on the Inside Edge and on Inside Indiana Business Radio of a World Trade Center. It's been a year in the making. Indianapolis putting in a license for a World Trade Center. Doris Ann Sadler, who served as president of the organization, talked about the potential going forward.
We are in the very, very early stages of doing some market research and studies. We'd like it to be in downtown Indianapolis, but we're open to other ideas. But we're thinking in terms of a mixed-use kind of development where companies that have connections to trades, organization that has global connections will want to come and use as a hub.
A lot of talk about a World Trade Center, a building, but beyond that, the programming. What does the World Trade Center offer from a state perspective in terms of as you go out to try to sell Indiana to the world?
Well, I congratulate Greg Zeller and Doris Ann Sadler. They've worked so hard on this, and this is exactly supporting the governor's vision of taking Indiana to the next level, taking Indiana to the world and bringing the world to Indiana. And the World Trade Center will give us just another venue, an opportunity to do that with their advising on global trading for companies in Indiana as well as foreign direct investment.
And there's a lot of talk about the big increase in nonstop flights at Indianapolis International Airport, including that nonstop to Paris that starts in May. Can all of this growing global presence for Indiana mean more nonstop flights internationally?
Yeah, absolutely. We're working on one right now for Asia that we expect to be done by the end of the year, and then after that, after 2020, we'll go back and look at Europe again. But we have plans to continue to work on that. We got the #1 airport in North America, and it's interestingly enough, I'm going to be coming back a day early from the first flight that the governor will come back on from Paris because I'm speaking at commencement at the International School, which I'm excited about because that's the future leaders for us globally are those students at the International School.
All right, Jim Schellinger is the Secretary of Commerce for the state. Been around the globe a lot. We appreciate you taking the time to stop by.
Thank you, Gary.
All right.